On this episode of the John 1911 podcast, the Polymer 80 project is dead. Are we buying a forest? SB1 project update, and banning smartasses from the blog page. Good morning, everybody. This is Marky and Freeze, and welcome to the John 1911 podcast. How's your night, Freeze?
Not too bad.
That's good. You just finished up your your work week.
Yep, finished up my week, and so now I get to spend the next week working on projects.
Yeah. So we've been sitting here. The last podcast we had a little bit of some audio issues with it, and well, it might be the podcast before, but we had on my end, and so we were sitting here testing some stuff real quick, just trying to sound like a couple Broadway Thrive 4, 3, 2 test, and we're starting to realize, wow, this audio stuff, this is like a real job for somebody. This isn't a joke. I always kind of thought like some of this was kind of a make work for people. So,
yeah, well, apparently not. Apparently people that know more about this stuff than we do actually earn a paycheck doing this.
Yeah, Mitch was complaining that the last podcast I had issues on my end with the, I'm sure those of you at home listening could tell there was some little distortions in the microphone, and it was on my end, and so we fixed it. I think we fixed it, so we're working on it. So it's kind of where we're at now, and so hey, let me bring you up to date. Let's discuss the range project real quick, Freeze, before we get into what we're going to talk about today.
Okay.
Did you see the information that I sent you on the property?
The latest one?
Yeah.
I saw it. I didn't really look into it much. I mean, I did get it. I saw it, but I really didn't have time to look at it in depth.
Well, I have an appointment today to go out and look at it, and by the time this podcast publishes, we may even own it. It's a large piece of property. It's a large piece of property. It's the total property is larger than the subdivision we were looking at. So,
no, really, okay,
total, but we'll have to we'll negotiate and see what it is. But this particular area, I'm not a big ag land person. It's being built as flat property, which isn't that great, but if it's flat, if it's got I'm sure it'll have some kind of grade in it, but apparently it's actually forest. It's actually classified by some government agency as a forest. So okay. I'm hoping it has a canopy and not much ground scrub.
Well, being classified as a forest is fine, but is there any regulations on taking some trees out?
Well, that's going to be the official discussion today. My understanding is the way it's currently being is. Again, I don't know this because we're going to have the law. We have a in the particular state where this property is, we have a law firm that we deal with that'll end up having to deal with this. But without talking to them yet, because they don't even know about this property, they'll know about it after we do this podcast.
Yeah. From
what I can tell, you can log the property, but what this has done is this is set up. It's a tax incentive. Some governments, I guess, if somebody wants to have property that they want to leave as trees or a forest, or if they want to potentially log it later, what they do is, because the tree's got to grow here for 20 more years, they classify it as a forest, and the taxes, the semi-annual taxes on this, it's nothing. It looks like it's a land tax classification, because agriculture a lot of our city folks don't know this, but like if you see a bunch of trees and then you see a cleared cornfield, the cornfield is worth more money, is more valuable than a bunch of trees, generally speaking.
Well, yeah.
That may not be obvious to people at home.
I guess. A lot of people don't, probably, if they're not into agriculture, don't really think of it. But the value of the land is in the agriculture. I mean, what can you grow on it? If it's a forest, it's non-tillable. And if it's non-tillable, it is worth less.
Mm-hmm. So I think instead of having it be, quote, worth less, what they do is they want to turn it into an investment. Basically, we agree not to, I mean, again, this doesn't apply to us. This is the general situation. We got a couple hundred acres. We're going to classify it as forest. The taxes are like $10 a year, the property taxes. And then, when we want to log it in the future, everybody will recapture whatever capital income or capital gains or however that's ever handled on logging property. I don't know how the income is handled from logging, and then at that point the property becomes, I don't know, after you log a property, I guess it's the difference between logging it selectively and clear cutting it. So I'm hoping what we'll have to do is we're not going to be clearing wide swaths of ranges through this property. We'll just be threading the needle.
Sure.
So I mean, we'll have an area where we operate pistols and maybe tack rifles. Like
absolutely.
And then we'll find then we'll find a 3 foot wide swath and we'll just go straight. And if we have to drop a tree every so often to keep that going, and that'll be the quote, it could be 800 yards.
Well, the layout of the land will dictate that. But my question is, do you know what kind of hardwoods are on this land? I mean, if it's forest for logging, what kind of trees are we talking about?
See, that's where I'm going to get in trouble because I wish you were there. I don't know. It'll be obvious when I meet the people and go through it today. Well, for all I know, it's full of ash trees. I mean, I have no idea. So,
if it's full of ash trees, they're probably all dead.
Yeah, because this isn't that far from Mitchell's range.
No, it's not, and the ash borer is pretty prevalent in that area.
Yeah, the ash borer. Is it the ash borer or boar? So it that's
I don't know what its official. I always just called it an ash borer.
It's the winter firewood maker because the ash borer. Yeah,
exactly.
It has decimated so many trees at Mitchell's Range. It's unbelievable. Huge trees.
You know what? They produced a lot of BTUs.
Yeah, because Mitchell's Range is heated with a boiler system. So all the buildings, all the outbuildings are all heated with. So people go out, we tag the trees that need to be dropped, and then they're big trees too. I mean, it's no joke. It's not like some little tree. And
I'll tell you what, some of them, I mean, they're standing dead, and man, I'll tell you what, some of them are dangerous to be under.
That's the problem. If if you have property where people are moving around on it and you have this huge dead tree, shit drops off of it, it kills people. That happens every year.
Oh, yeah.
And so, that'll be an assessment as to, I'll have to see if we can get it assessed. If it's, quote, a forest, there have to be a government agency that took a survey, you would think, of the property. So how many trees can we drop? What trees are on the property? What's the ratio? What's the condition of the trees? What are we dealing with? What are the restrictions? Because leaving it as a forest for us is actually really good.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
So
is there any water on this place? I mean, creeks, ponds, lakes, rivers?
From I can tell from the satellite images, there doesn't seem to be any ponds or lakes on it. There could obviously be some kind of drainage creek on it, seasonal rain creek. But I haven't.
I'm sure.
Yeah, this is apparently that's what makes it pretty interesting, because it's so flat that it's usable. I mean, like, the entire thing could be usable. We could cut trails in for 4-wheelers, set up hunting. We can, set up, if the trees are big enough, obviously we have to make backstops.
Well, yeah.
But if the trees are big enough, for just, again, we're not running a public range. We're doing it it's all private. So you're not shooting 150,000 rounds a year. I mean, the trees almost act as a natural bullet catcher to the left and the right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, so we don't have to clear 10 shooting positions, and this thing's got to be 800 yards long. This can literally be just which could be interesting too from a wind perspective.
Well, actually, it could be. When you go out there today and look at it, if it looks promising and things look good, maybe one day this week, if you got the time, maybe we can shoot out there and look at it together. But
the plan is, if it works, I'm going to probably get it under contract within the next 48 hours, because I got to get this done before I'm wheels up. Because I'm just so over this, so that's why I kind of was beating on your door yesterday about it. Because this is,
I know, but man, that's why I leave all this shit up to you.
I know you were working; it was your work week, so just so see, Freeze is learning this the same time as you are. We're about to buy this motherfucker, so I mean, I went out there and looked at it. I didn't trespass on it, but it's a pretty interesting piece of property.
Well, I'll be around. Shoot me some pictures and call me later and let me know. Let me give me all the information on it. What you think? Like I said, I'm leaving all this up to you. I mean, you know what you want.
What I would love is, a big giant hill that's clear and flat that shoots over a giant valley, and I could just set targets across the valley, and I don't have to do any cutting.
Yeah, but that's not happening. So.
not east of the Mississippi. It's not,
because we've already looked for that and it's not there.
Well, yeah, we found that, but a damn asshole put in goddamn quiet enjoyment restrictions on the deeds, and so basically it's unusable property for us.
Yeah, well, that property is pretty unusable for everyone.
Yeah, So this property is literally the exact opposite of that property.
Oh, that's awesome.
So the ground itself may not eat bullets, but it may not be that difficult to get it all set up. Also, if it's not clear, this property itself, because it's forest, actually resides inside of other forests. So you don't even abut up next to like real neighbors.
That's actually awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that really works in our favor big time. And
so what that also does is I think, if I recall, because the seller may have to cut a road in for us to get to it. They have it plotted, but I don't know if the road's officially cut in or not. But if it, cut us a road in, or we can negotiate that in the price and we can cut the road in. But it gives us possibly the ability, if we decide we want more land, to push out from the forest and grow if we need more acreage. And I think the locals would be happy with that, because we are guaranteeing that we're never going to drop these trees. It's going to stay forest. It'll be an impact zone, and you can't go back in there. But
yeah, but still, I mean, we have no desire to build homes.
Yeah. So, but if Bullwinkle lives back there and he comes out onto your farm in deer season, fantastic. Go ahead and shoot Bullwinkle. We don't care.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, we
wouldn't even mind if the bullet landed on our property.
Hey, I mean, the truth is, how much hunting will we be doing out there? Who knows? Maybe a lot, maybe a little. But we have other areas to hunt. I mean, I hunt on the same property that Mitchell Range is on, and that's my primary hunting property out there.
Well, let me give you this, Freeze. this property, I haven't timed it, but it is damn close to you.
I like that. I like that because that means I can shoot out there.
I bet you this property is 30 minutes from your front door.
That's really nice. That way I can run out there, knock off a couple 100 rounds, be back, and I'm 2-3 hours out of the day.
Yeah, you'll notice, everybody, he said knock off a couple 100 rounds. He didn't say go out there and put any work in or drop any trees or cut any shit.
Oh, bite me. Do you own a chainsaw?
No.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't own a chainsaw. It's official. I'm a poser. Hey, but you know what? I've got 60 pounds of tannerite. I can drop a tree.
Excuse me? Who's got 60 pounds of tannerite?
Oh, fuck. Is it? It's not at your house, is it?
It's in the trailer, bro.
Oh, damn. I don't have 60 pounds of tannerite. You have 60 pounds.
No, you don't. I have 60 pounds of tannerite and a chainsaw.
Yeah, you'll notice he put the tannerite in the trailer because he wasn't brave enough to put it in his garage. 60 pounds of tannerite. It'd probably blow up half your house.
It'd probably blow up my entire house. Actually, it would. I've seen a video where they blew up 50 pounds of tannerite, and I think it.
Oh, you could do one of those videos. My leg, it cut off my leg. You know what? I'm gonna put that in the comments on the website of the that video from the guy. I hate to laugh at the guy in Georgia, but what the hell was he thinking? He packed a tractor full of tannerite and was shooting it and getting closer and closer, trying to get it to go off.
Yeah, and people are stupid.
Yeah,
it's you never actually want to be the guy in the video who goes, I can't believe I just shot my fucking leg. You never want to be that guy.
Yeah.
And everyone knows what video I'm talking about.
Yeah, that guy's still out there too. But in this world, dude, everything's on video. And that's what people, anytime there's any of these incidents, think about this. Remember on 9/11, it took a couple years, but they were able to dig up a video of the first plane hitting the first tower. It didn't come out right away. But somebody had a camcorder and was shooting video of, I think it was like a road crew or something. Like they were videotaping a pipe or something in the road, and they heard a plane go overhead, and the guy turned the camera up, and you saw the first plane hit the tower. The first plane. And see, no one had seen that. That took a couple years for that to come out.
Yeah, well,
everything's on video.
Everything's on video, yeah.
It's 100 times worse now.
Oh, yeah.
It's 100 times worse. I saw a video of a guy. It was in this was just last week. Some third world podunk country, and he's running from the cops. And there are so many. And then he's driving. The cops are chasing him.
Oh no, I saw that video.
And he's losing the cops. And
he was on
like a motorcycle, right?
He was on like a moped or a motorcycle or something at first. Mm-hmm. Then he ditched that, and he was going in and out of stores. And man, they just followed this guy
across this whole city.
Yeah. And they promptly caught him. Well, didn't promptly catch. They did catch him, and that was on video as well.
Yeah, and it wasn't like, oh, look how close the cops came to catching this guy, but he got away in a bunch of videos. The video controllers were watching this guy and switching from station to station to station, and they were on the radios with the cops. And it was whack-a-mole, and they finally got it. This wasn't in London. This was in, I don't know what city this was in. It looked like it could have been like, I don't think that was Mexico City. I don't know. That could have been like, I don't know. That could have been, I don't know, Buenos Aires. It could have been.
Yeah, it could have been. I don't recall what city it was in, but yeah, I saw that video. I guess one day last week, and yeah, it was really interesting.
Yeah, and that's the future. I mean, that's again, people are.
Well, it's not the future; it's the now.
Dude, I can't tell you how many podunk dirtbag Americans that I've known through my years who have quote, "I'm going to move to Mexico and start over." And they run into cops in Mexico, Mexican cops, and they can't believe the Mexican cop can get on his radio and pull their entire record from Chicago. They're like, oh yeah, not only do you have a warrant out of Chicago in the United States, but here's your entire criminal history in the NCIC. Yeah, because Mexico is a border country to the U.S. It's not Afghanistan. I mean, the government functions like a podunk bullshit country, but the computers still work.
Yeah.
And they're shocked. Like these these Americans will go down there and they'll be like, I got a warrant, or I got this, or I got that, and so here's where the Americans will screw up. They don't realize if you are down in a tourist area, if you're a white guy, again, if you're not a white person, you're listening to this, maybe this doesn't apply to you, but if you're a Caucasian and you want to go hide in Mexico, you best stay in like Puerto Vallarta, Cabo San Lucas, all of these American touristy areas, because the thing is, the bad thing is you might get spotted by an American or American law enforcement, or by an American, somebody could recognize you. Like if you're on America's Most Wanted, you'll get spotted in, so I saw that guy down in a bar in this city. So, so the guys are, I'm really smart. I'm going to go live out in wherever. I'm going to go live out, where there's not a tourist area. Well, guess what happens?
You're the only white guy out there.
You're the only white guy in the neighborhood, and the cops immediately zip in on you. What are you doing here? Who are you? Why are you here? Because you don't belong here. They think you're a criminal. They think you either are lost and you about to die, or they think you are a criminal.
Well, I mean, the odds are the drug cartels are going to kill you in short order anyway, so what the hell?
I guess the best plan would be to start your own drug cartel. Like the guys, I'm going to start my own navy with hookers and hazing. I'm going to start my own cartel.
Sure, why not?
So, yeah, people, I mean, the world is smaller than people realize, so.
Hell, if we could rewind a couple of years, the U.S. government would give you all the guns you need.
Don't start. You used to obsess on Eric Holder the way you obsessed on who's the guy from the family you call the cruise missile?
Oh, the Duggar family.
The Dugars?
Dugars, Duggar,
yeah.
Josh, the cruise missile.
Yeah, because, he used to always... See, before we had this podcast, Freeze was constant... I want to be on Facebook page, but Freeze was always like, Eric Holder's going to jail, Eric Holder this, Eric Holder that. And it's like, well, that it's all true, but Eric Holder is... Guys like Eric Holder don't go to jail.
Yeah, Eric Holder doesn't go to jail.
Yeah, he doesn't go... Even with President Trump, Eric Holder doesn't go to jail.
Nope.
So... All right, let's get down to brass tacks here. I brought you up to speed on the Range project and where we're at. We had discussed the possibility of you building one of these, I hate this phrase, ghost guns.
I hate the phrase too, by the way. Yeah, I mean, everyone knows I hate Glocks.
Yeah, you do, but you recommend them, but you hate them.
Oh, I know. I recommend. As a matter of fact, I just recommended a Glock to a friend of mine a couple weeks ago, and he went out to one of the local stores and bought one. He's like, I'm getting my CCW. What do you recommend? Yeah. Told him buy Glock because he's a gun idiot. I mean, when I say a gun idiot, he's not a gun guy, but he wants to carry for protection. I recommended a Glock because out of the box, it's the way to go. I just personally hate them.
Yeah.
and anyone that carries them. No, I'm just joking. I'm joking. Look, I mean, I recommend Glocks all the time. I think they're, as far as a gun goes, I think they're a fine gun. I personally don't like them. Personal choice. With that being said, you thought you would come up with a smart, snarky way to get me to have a Glock.
My plan was to basically appeal to your Bob Vila side, and basically Freeze will not buy a Glock, he won't carry a Glock, he won't own a Glock, he hates them. But if you set a parts kit in front of him and say, this needs to be built, he's like OCD.
Oh yeah, I got to do it.
Yeah, so I came up with this great idea. I was like, we'll get one of these, I don't know, 80G or G80s. I don't know what they're called.
It's a Polymer 80.
Polymer 80.
Polymer 80, and the model's basically it's a PF 940, which is basically it's an 80% finished lower for a Glock. So, and because it's not serialized, it's a quote unquote ghost gun, which, whatever.
Yeah.
But basically, you buy this Polymer 80 kit. It's an 80% pistol frame, and it comes with the jigs and the drill bits. It comes with everything you need to do to finish it and make it 100% complete. Then you basically have to build your gun from there. You buy the lower parts, and then you just slap a complete upper on it, and boom, you got a gun.
And so here's where I screwed up. I was thinking I was either disrespecting the Glock afterparts market, or I was trying to overlay the 1911 market on it. And what I was thinking, bottom line, is I thought we could get this gun get this gun built for $400 or less.
Yeah, no.
Because I was thinking, okay, a slide would be what, $100? I figured a barrel would be what, $40? Of course, right now there's a bunch of people listening to this they're like in the Glock game that are literally falling out of their chairs, laughing their asses off.
Yeah, they're rolling their eyes, thinking, "God, you're an asshole."
Well, you know what? I mean, I shoot Glocks that actually work. So
well, okay.
Yeah. Some asshole sitting with a pile of parts that doesn't even fucking run's going to judge me. Kiss my grits.
So, because I don't really follow Glock talk and all this crazy shit about Glocks, because I don't like them, they hold no interest. I mean, guys that like Glocks can talk about all these hot shit slides and triggers and all that shit. I don't know about any of that, and I don't care to know about any of that. And if you do, that's awesome. So I'm looking at this Polymer 80 kit, and, my mouth starts to water a little because, anytime you throw an 80% receiver at me and say, build a gun, I just have to do it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So it's like, wow, $150 for this kit. That's not bad.
So
I like that.
The kit's $150, the slide's $100, the barrel's $40. How much is a trigger? Go.
Yeah, no. So I get to digging into it, and first thing I do is I go to Gun Broker, because, it's like, okay, look, the easiest way to do it is just buy a complete slide, a complete upper, full, everything barrel, if I'm going to do a build, I want, a threaded barrel for a suppressor down the road, but whatever, just what are complete slides? Well, there's Agency Arms, there's Zev, and, you start getting into all that crazy shit, which are anywhere from $800 to $2,000 for a freaking complete upper, which is
$2,000 for a complete upper.
$2,150 for an Agency Arms 19, Glock 19, complete upper. And now, in all fairness, it's, it's got they've got threaded barrels, they've got, sights. I mean, these are set up. God, I can't believe I'm even trying to justify this. There's no way to justify a $2,100 freaking Glock upper.
Oh, dude, I was this week while you were working, you may have seen I posted a little commentary on the Facebook page, bitching about buying. You need to buy used on the internet on the gun forums.
Yeah,
I saw this guy. He had this gun. It's some kind of Glock, and I don't. You said Zev, and I guess you said Agency Arms, and I don't know who all these. I've heard of Zev, I think. And, to me, I can always, whenever I see a Glock with basically one of those, I call it the gold-plated or the TI nitride barrel. You're dealing with like a bullshit gun. And this guy had one of these guns, and he's claiming he had $3,000 in this gun, and he was trying to sell it for $2,200.
Well, he might have, because here's an Agency Arms hybrid complete upper with the burnt bronze DLC barrel, and they want $1,500 for it. So if he's got one of these $2,000 uppers, then he might have $3,000 in this gun, which is just bizarre. You
have to stop right there, because look, this is where I had this like the good idea fairy. I was like, okay, Freeze will build whatever gun he wants to build. I'd probably have him build a 17 because I think it's more practical for him. He's a bigger guy like me. And what we could do is we could kind of have these shoot off grudge matches and see if his ghost gun will run better than my Gen 4 Glock 17.
Yeah.
For accuracy, function, and all of this, and then you got into it, and what happened?
Well, next thing you know, we're talking about $1,000 gun.
$1,000 Glock.
Yeah, because, so if you go to the Glock store.
All right, let me bring it up.
Okay, the Glock store, they sell the Polymer 80 kits for $150.
Okay.
Okay, then you got to get the lower parts kit, with all the, the itty bitty pieces and pins and all the nifty shit. And it comes with a factory trigger. These are factory parts. These aren't aftermarket. These are Glock parts. And that's $125. So, okay, that's cool. Then you have your choice. Do you want to buy a stripped slide and then an upper parts kit, or do you want to buy a complete slide? So I'm going with the complete slide. Because it's easier. Oh, that's $450. So let's see, $450.
Jesus.
$556. So we're at $725 we're spending $725 plus shipping. I can put together a Glock 17 that will run, but for that $725, it's still got shitty ass Glock factory sights on it. So add another $150 for a set of sights. You're at $1,000.
I mean, I'm looking at the Glock store, Gen 4 heavy tungsten guy rod, $80.
Yeah.
The fuck?
Oh no, I was just talking about factory parts here.
No, I mean,
I'm not talking about getting into fancy shit.
Okay. So Freeze hits us with this, and I'm like, okay, you can't buy all this stuff new because it's all going to be retail. Go out onto the secondary market and find blown up or old Glock parts and do it that way. And what did you find?
Everyone who's got a blown up Glock that the upper is salvageable is selling it online for $300
because the Polymer 80 lower market has siphoned all these parts up.
Exactly. Now, with that being said, I threw this at you. So I went to AIM Surplus, which, is a company we do a lot of business with. We like AIM. AIM's good to us. Been good to us long before people knew who we were. Yeah, when we were just two schmoes buying ammo, AIM was always good to us, and we like AIM a lot. So I go to their website, and they don't happen to have any 17s or 19s, but they do have some Leo trade-ins. They're Glock 22s, which I'm not, a fan of. I'm not a fan of the 40 cal or the Glock, but these are law enforcement trade-ins. They come with 3 magazines. They come with Trejicon, night sights, and they've got your dick cocking ledge on it that you like.
Yeah. Hey, if you got the big dick, you might as well cock it.
Exactly. Now, these are used. They're Leo trade-ins. But, hey, guess what? I can buy one right now from AIM Surplus for $309.95. And, are contacted AIM,
they'd take care of us on it.
They would take care of us on it. So we're probably, I mean, you know, look, I'm not saying they'd give it to us for $100 or nothing, but they'd probably take care of tax.
I don't want to give. We can't give out any numbers.
No, I mean, you know, they don't give us any deep discounts or anything like that, but they take care of us, you know, and they hook us up with, you know, they give us great ammo prices and stuff like that. But I mean, they're not giving us stuff. But still, for $300, I can buy a freaking Glock 22. So why would I even want a $1,000 project?
Yeah, and you know, you can just buy a 9mm barrel and drop it in. I know the breech face. I realize the issues, but just for like a project gun. So then we were like, well, we could just buy a complete gun, then just move the upper over and bring all the parts in. And it just didn't make any sense. Well, here's a perfect example. So you're $800, $1,000. You can buy, and I know you'd rather have this just because you're a SIG fanboy. And we didn't talk about this. They have Leo trade-in SIG 226s for $339. There's 40 cal. Didn't your brother run a 40 cal 226?
He ran a 226.
Yeah, with his PD. So
yeah, that
and this looks like it's a DAO gun because it's got a bobbed hammer.
Yeah, I mean,
it's called a DAC trigger, whatever that is.
Whatever. But the point is, for what'd you say? $339, $340.
$340 for a goddamn SIG.
Wow, that's totally amazing. So okay, so I get a 226. It's got you know,
dude, for the money
decent sights
for the
on
money
it.
for this Ghost gun, you could buy the 226 and a fucking Glock from AIM and still save $200.
Yeah,
I mean, none of this makes any fucking sense.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, when you first threw it at me, I thought, man, this is nice. I like the project. You know, I'm always looking at stuff to tinker with. I like to do builds, and it's like, you know what, we'll put a threaded barrel on it, you know, for a suppressor, and we'll put some high sights on it, you know, knock off those crappy ass Glock factory sights. We'll put some high rise sights on it to clear the suppressor, you know, for down the road, you know, and it's like, you know what, we can build this up and tweak it out to where we want. And then it's like, man, we're $1,000 into this project, and it's a Ghost gun, which, look, for us in this project, it's not that big of a deal. We don't sell guns that are in the armory, but this is a non-transferable gun. I build this gun, it's mine. I cannot ever sell it to anyone. Well, it's ours, you know, it's in the armory. But what I'm saying is there's no serial number on this, so it can't be sold. So down the road,
if we wanted to give a gun away, because if we start doing the gun giveaways again, we could even give this gun away.
No, this gun, you can't do anything with it. I mean, you shoot it, you know, but to be honest with you, and this is for these guys that want to go out and maybe build a Polymer 80 and do a 19 for carry, I wouldn't carry this gun for self-defense. It's not a serialized gun. Even if you're at a good shoot, you know, it's like the cops are looking at this gun going, where's the serial? Well, it's a Ghost gun. No, dude, don't make things hard in your life. So you don't even want to carry this for self-defense.
You know what? I never thought about that. That has never occurred to me. So, you know, I'm involved in a shooting. It's a good shooting. Yeah. Obviously, I'm going. You know, I have to be arrested and I'm processed and everything's logged into the property room.
Sure. Yeah, that's standard.
What the hell do they? If we build a Polymer 80, whatever this thing's called, the Polymer 80 gun, because people that have never dealt with the property rooms and the RCIC, NCIC systems, you know, the guns end up in the computer systems with the serial numbers and descriptions. This gun isn't even going to say Glock. I'm curious what the hell they would even call it.
Well, if you bought a Glock slide, it would say Glock on it. I mean, it'd say Glock 17 or Glock 19 or whatever.
They would put a Glock. Well, you know what? That brings up a good point. Wait a minute. Where's my, let me get a Glock here. Hold on. I just thought of this. Give me a second. So, you know what? I apologize for the banging. Hold on, I got to clear this gun. All right. Let me see here. Check this out. I didn't even think of this.
Yeah.
If you bought you know what? This gun would have a serial number on it. Maybe not according to the ATF. But Glock slides and German guns have serial numbers. The Glocks have serial numbers on the slides, and they have serial numbers on the barrels. This gun, if you took a Polymer 80, dude, you know this is true. You know how this works. You had you bought a factory Glock, okay?
Yeah.
A factory quote upper. You build your quote ghost gun. It ends up in the property room system. It's going to go into the system as a Glock with this serial number.
Where's the serial number on the slide?
The Glocks have the serial numbers on right under the. They have
right
them
under,
on. They have them on
right.
on the barrel hood on the side, and they have them right under the ejection port on the slide. And it's the same serial number that's on the frame. The ATF, that's not a legal serial number for the ATF because this isn't the receiver. But some cop, they're going to put this in as this serial number.
Yeah. Yeah, they would. And if you had an aftermarket like threaded barrel, it wouldn't have the serial number on the barrel. So you'd only be relying on the number that's on the slide if it's a Glock slide. But let's say you had a serious case of douchebaggery and you wanted to spend $1,000 or $800 on a Zeb slide. So now you've got a Zeb slide with a threaded barrel. There's no serial number on that anywhere.
Check this out. Oh, this gets even worse. Because again, we know how we've dealt with the property rooms. This gun, I'm going to pretend this Glock 19 in my hand is your theoretical ghost gun, okay?
Okay.
And I'm looking at this.
Yeah.
This gets recovered on scene and ends up in the property system. They're going to look for a serial number. Any number they find on this gun is going to be the magic serial number. Whether they know, whether the ATF, whether that's a legal serial number or not. Here's the thing. You could have a situation where you've got two guns with the same serial number in the NCIC system. What if somebody's got your Glock barrel and it's in the NCIC system? What if someone's got the Glock slide, it's in the NCIC system, and then the actual wherever that frame is, and that's in the NCIC system?
I mean, theoretically, yes, you could be. Yes, you're correct. But man, I think you're really, really pushing it.
I am pushing it, but I'm just because I'm just theoretically looking at where this can go and how complicated this can get. Because you know how the property rooms are.
Oh yeah, I know. And look, they have to have a number. They got to put a number down.
You know what? I don't know this. Let me ask you this question. I don't know the property room here. I mean, they would tag it.
They got to have something to put into the system.
You know what? I don't know the answer to this. I don't, because
honestly,
law enforcement normally when they interface with a gun without a serial number on it, they call the ATF.
Okay, flip your Glock upside down and look at where the serial number is on the frame.
Yeah, the serial plate. Yeah,
the plate. Well, on the Polymer 80, there is no plate there. So the first thing a cop's going to do if this gun is in their possession is they're going to think that it's a stolen gun someone yanked the serial number off of.
I disagree with that because I know, dude, most cops, at least in the area that you're thinking, they're not gun people, dude. They don't know shit about guns.
Yeah, but they're going to look at this gun and say, "Wow, there's no serial number," and they all know there's a plate under there with the serial number, and that plate's going to be gone.
Some of them do, some of them don't. I mean, here's the thing: if there's no plate on the bottom, but there's you got a Glock slide on it, swing, that's the serial number. Yeah, if they find, they'll literally turn the gun over and over and over till they find a number, and whatever number they find is the serial number.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, they just graduated a new rookie class, and I guarantee you. But look, I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
I'm just. But if I don't have a Glock slide, if I have an aftermarket slide, so there's no number on the slide, so there's no serial number on this gun, they're going to think it's a stolen gun and someone did something with the serial number.
Oh, automatic, it's going to be an ATF call.
Well, sure, but anyway, we're kind of like digging the deep hole here.
So let's jump back on track here. So you're $1,000 into this gun, and it's an armory project, and so I'm looking at these numbers, and I'm like, so let me ask you this, Freeze. Would you rather spend $1,000 on a fucking gun that you hate, or would you rather put $1,000 towards a SIG 5.56 that you love?
Oh, I definitely would rather.
What's it called? The XI?
Put it towards a 5.56 XI. Put it towards a P320.
Oh, I forgot. I mean, I see. And you had brought that up when I was in my truck, and I'm literally like, why the fuck would I spend $1,000 on this when we could just buy a P320 and you'd be like frickin' walk around with a boner all day? Yeah,
exactly. I mean,
yeah.
What
how much is a SIG P320 right now?
Dude, you can get them between like $400 and $450.
Jesus. Yeah. This is a bloodbath. You could get two of them.
I could buy a 320 for the cost of what it would cost me sorry, I just dropped a bunch of stuff. For what it would cost to buy a complete upper for the Glock project. I mean, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. We had a bunch of people reach out. They were kind of reaching out to us via email, and they seemed like they were interested in this project. They wanted to follow it. We ran the numbers on this, and it's just like, there is no way this is even going to happen. Because even if a gun doesn't make economic sense, when we were giving guns away, we would purchase guns that we could play with, or that were neat, then we could give them away, because there's always somebody out there that wants that gun. We'd be $1,000 into this thing. Can't even give this thing away.
Yeah, that's and the 320's convertible.
Oh yeah.
You can do a lot with 320. I mean, look. Yeah, the numbers just don't work for me. I mean, it's as much fun as the build would be. I can buy for $500. I can buy a whole lot of P320s. I mean, and you can spend more because they have different variations in models, and some are more than others. But if you had a $500 bill in your hand and you said, "I'm going to go home with the P320," you can do it. And I mean, seriously, it's just as much fun as it would be. And I mean, I would like to do the build just because I like to do builds, and it'd be a cool armory project, and but
here's a 5.56 XI, which is the one you like.
Yeah.
It's used, but it's like new for $1,200.
See, for extra $200. Is that what caliber is that one?
That's in 5.56.
5.56.
And check this out. Check this out. Here's somebody selling a 5.56 XI lower for the Russian, for the 7.62 to convert it. So you could convert that for $300, and you could have we have to change your barrel too, I guess, but you could have your 7.62 gun.
Yeah, and that's the nice thing about the XI. It's totally convertible. I mean, you can you can switch calibers. You can do all kinds of stuff with it. It's an interesting gun. I mean, the SIG MQX or
the MPX is the pistol caliber, and the MCX is the 5.56 gun.
Yeah, well, the MCX is kind of passing the XI up because that's kind of, everyone likes the whole AR thing. But
those guns are solid guns, dude.
Yeah. Oh, man, no. Look, I'm not complaining about them, but look. So okay, but that's the AR platform. The SIG 5.56 XI is. Man, it could be cousins to your SCAR. It does everything the SCAR does, but better for half the price.
Let me ask you this. I don't know. We actually have I don't know these numbers. We have the SIG 550 is the original gun to all of these.
Yes.
We have the American version of the SIG 550 in the armory, new, unfired, with tags still on it. I don't remember what's that called. We have that gun. Is that gun convertible?
No.
Okay. Only the XI is convertible. This is not an XI.
No. This now the XI is the important one.
So
there's the 5.56, the 550, the 551. I think there's a 553. I mean, there's a lot of different models, but the 5.56 XI is
okay.
Yeah.
So this gun in the armory is probably just called the 5.56.
No, I think the gun in the armory is the 550. It's a SIG 550 or maybe a 551.
Oh, you know what? I think it's
not a 5.56.
Or you know what? Or maybe it's called an A1 or something. It's not a 550 because like the real 550s are made in Europe or something. This is made in the USA.
It's probably the 551 or the 551 A1.
Yeah. It's something. It's whatever the American made version that I guess a lot of people didn't like because they didn't think it was up to like European standards. It's like, yeah, shut up. It's a
freaking SIG, which means it's a fine gun.
Yeah, it's like, the plastic moves a little bit. It's like, shut up. Yeah, it's like, come on. Yeah, it's a goddamn same gun.
Yeah.
I don't know. I remember what we paid for this gun, but maybe it might have been $1,100-$1,200.
We paid high for it.
Nah, we didn't pay that high.
Yeah, we did. We paid a little high for it, but the reason we paid high for it is because it was unfired with the tags still on it.
Oh, dude, it's got like 10 magazines with it or something. I mean, we have a whole stack of it's got the 550 rocker mags.
Well, and
it's got a bayonet and shit with it.
And that's where we got the deal.
Okay.
I mean, we paid high for it because it was new and unfired. But when you factor in the guy threw in 10 mags and the bayonet and there was like a bayonet adapter because when they brought it in, they had to like the bayonet lug they couldn't be on the gun when they brought it in, but you could buy the like bayonet lug thing to put on. I mean, it's something crazy like that. But he threw all these things in with it, which in turn made it a pretty good deal because the mags are not cheap.
Yeah, we have enough. I'm pretty sure I think there's the reason I know there's mags is because it's a non-standard magazine in the rifle room. Anything that's a non-standard, the magazines will stay with the gun. So, like, they're in the rifle racks, and then the magazines will be stacked behind them because they can't be floating. Whereas, like, an FNC, we pull any Stenag mag out. We just pull some mags out and run it. But this gun, we keep the mags with it.
Exactly, because, you can't, we've got a bunch of guns. You can just grab a stack of PMags and they all work. But here's the thing with these 550s and 551s, and this is what made the deal so freaking phenomenal, is we got 10 mags with it. These mags are going for about $75 a mag.
Oh, they're not. Really?
Yes, they are. I'm not saying you can't find a deal on them, but go on a gun broker and look up what these mags are going for.
Okay, I don't think they're that much because I think SIG's still making them in the U.S. Okay, what are they called? So it's the
look for SIG 550, 551 mags.
SIG 550 magazine. Let me see what I got here. Gunbroker. Holy fuck. Dude, you're right.
Yeah.
They're $75-$80 a piece.
Yeah. And like I said, that's what makes the deal so sweet, because we got, $700 worth of mags.
Holy crap. Maybe we better check, because I just assumed mags were still attainable. I mean, maybe these are not in production anymore. I mean, we should probably have enough. We don't run this gun as a primary.
Look, we got 10 mags for it. We're fine. I feel pretty comfortable.
Well, yeah, they've even got on Gunbroker. There's a quote 20-round Leo magazine for $74, and I know for a fact we've got at least one 20-round mag, because it's got a bunch of every mag with it's 30, and I remember one mag is shorter, and I know it's not a 10-round magazine. It's like a 20-round mag.
Yeah, I think
which comes in handy for like sighting in the gun and stuff, shooting prone.
Sure.
I mean,
oh yeah, sure. Yeah. I believe the 20 rounders are considered like law enforcement magazines, whereas the 30 rounders are, like regular, like military.
Which makes no goddamn sense, but whatever. Okay.
Hey, it is what it is.
What it is.
But I'm telling you, the mags, they're proprietary mags. So, the gun don't run if you don't have these mags.
Yeah, so. All right. So,
okay. Which, by the way, the 5.56 XI takes P mags and Stenag mags. I mean, it's not a proprietary mag, and that's also the other thing. And like if you get the 5.56 lower, it takes standard AK mags. I'm sorry, not the 5.5, the 7.62 by 39 lower takes standard AK mags.
We started talking about Glock projects, and now we're going off into the weeds. I'll tell you what, when I get back in town, I'm probably going to reach out to Faxon or however you call those guys, because we've talked to the one guy over there, and I'm probably going to go ahead and get their 7.62 conversion, get their barrel. It's a barrel. I guess it's a barrel, a bolt, and then some magazines. And
we talked about.
And the reason I'm thinking of this is because instead of getting the XI and the conversion, the 7.62 by 39. I wouldn't mind playing with the 7.62 39 in the AR pattern gun in a Faxon, where I think it'll probably run and be more reliable. I don't personally think the 7.62 39 ARs are that reliable, but I mean, I wouldn't know anymore. I mean, I'm sure they're probably fine now. Everybody's deep into them, but
Well, like on the.
And here's the thing: if I get a barrel for that Faxon rifle, a 7.62 barrel, I'm getting a pencil barrel for that. Because the 5.56 barrel on that's now is like a heavy match barrel, and it sucks it kills that gun.
It does. That thing is so top heavy, it's a monster.
And it's all barrel.
When I say it's not crazy stupid top heavy, but when you grab like an AR type rifle, it's like whoa, you notice the weight.
Well, I guess we better talk about that as well. So, but by the time this podcast is published, the SP1 project will be, I hope, almost complete. You remember you tired? You've been up all night. Remember
I have been up all night. Yes,
because I bought a lower you told me to buy. Remember? You were like, buy this one. Okay,
that's right. I think we talked about it. Have we talked about this project at all?
Yeah, we talked about the upper, because we've actually had guys roll in. We had a guy come in on Twitter, and asking about it. And then we had a guy 2 days ago who basically said he gave us a link to I guess Brownells was blowing out lowers last week. And basically he was like, here's a full fenced AR lower to hold you over on your SP1 project until you get a regular lower. We talked about it because people talk about it.
Okay. So we have this SP1 upper and, it's a nice upper, I figure it's about a, 70s era upper. you know, and it may need a couple part tweaks on it, but for the most part, it's decent.
Yeah,
And,
that gas key tube, whatever you want to call that thing, that thing is eaten. You can tell somebody put that in a machine gun.
oh yeah, that definitely has to be replaced. But then again, the whole bolt carrier group may end up being replaced on that gun before the end of the day. So we'll see. Charging handle may be replaced, but yeah, again, that's really insignificant at this point. So I come across this lower on, was it Gunbroker?
Yeah, it's Gunbroker.
Okay. And those that listen to us know that I hate spending money.
Oh God!
Of course, we're talking about buying land, so you know.
Oh, dude, we're
So
but I mean, you realize between all the range projects, if this all goes, I mean, we're at 700 grand.
just stop. Just stop. Don't even say stuff like that.
I don't give a fuck. I mean, who gives a fuck? I mean,
the
goddamn government knows.
It hurts my ears.
I know.
It kills me. Anyway, so I find a slab side lower, and man, it's perfect. I don't like the price on it, but I mean the Parkerizing matches. It's a large pinhole.
With a stupid screw.
Yeah, it's got it's a pre-ban serialized. The serial, it's got the correct serial number prefix, and I believe it's dated from 1977, which pretty much works for us. And so anyway, basically, I just gave you the go ahead to pull the trigger on that. So I don't know when it'll get here.
Well, yeah, it's going to be in limbo until I get back in country. So yeah. We probably won't see it for close to a month.
That's fine. Just call the powers to be and just tell them to hang on to it, because it'll,
Yeah, it'll be so. But anyway, because I was looking at this, and again, all these AR guys. I mean, no disrespect, but like the collector dudes. Look, I wanted this gun to be, quote, correct. I didn't want it to be a total, like, mashup of just bullshit. And I just, this is Freeze's area. Freeze can get down into the weeds and kind of look at this stuff and figure out if it's correct or, quote, correct enough. I'm looking at all these A1, AR, M16, A1, SP1, and like all the, like the goddamn markings are different, and this is correct and this is not, and I'm just like, if I'm going to have to spend the kind of money that I have to spend on this freaking thing, it needs to be at least in the right neighborhood. So I was you handle it.
Look, we're going to put this thing together, and you're going to get one of these, these AR experts, and I don't profess to be an expert on ARs by no stretch of the imagination. There's probably a ton of guys out there listening to us right now that know a hell of a lot more about ARs than I do. That's okay. But we've got the M4 in the armory.
M4? You mean the Marine Corps gun, the A4. Okay, yeah.
Okay. We have that in the armory, and that is modern. That is as modern as it gets right now.
That is surprisingly light for a 20-inch gun.
Yeah, it really is. But what we wanted for the armory is an early triangular handguard, no forward assist, slab side lower. We just wanted an early type AR-15. And we're not collectors. We're not AR aficionados or anything like that, but we wanted an example that's correct. We don't want to look like douche nozzles out there, and have guys, just coming in there and commenting and picking us apart if we do a video or do an article with pictures and a write up on it. We don't want that. And we're not professing to say that this is 150% authentic because someone's going to find a freaking screwhead that's not right,
Yeah.
We don't care about that.
Oof.
But
never, you know what the rule of thumb is? Never read the comments on the internet. Never read the comments on the internet. Never read the comments.
Yeah, no shit. But look, when I feel confident with this lower, that things will go together well with it. And I think at the end of the day, like I said, there's going to be a few parts we're going to need to switch out on it, but it's not going to be anything major. And at the end of the day, I think we're going to have a great example of an early AR to add to the armory. And the nice thing is, which even though I did not like the price of the lower, at the end of the
I hated the price. I hated the price.
But look, at the end of the day, when this project's complete, we'll only have about 75% value in it as to what it's worth on the retail market if we so decided to sell, which we don't. But, we don't sell guns. But I always look at that. I don't want to build a gun. I don't want to spend $500 on a gun that's only worth $2. I look at the economics of it, and we will have a gun where we can make a 25% profit margin on this gun if we decided to roll it over the next day.
Honestly, I think the percentages, we're probably coming in, because I know what we paid for the upper. If we don't have to change anything in the upper, we might. But if we don't have to change anything in the upper and with the current lower, we're probably in at about 60% of total value of what the retail what the gun would go for.
I was going 75% because we're going to have to change a couple parts on it.
I know.
Yeah, but we're not talking big money here either. But okay, even if we go with your figure of 60%, that still puts us in a real sweet spot.
Yeah, we don't like to be upside down on guns.
No, do not like to be upside down on guns at all. But that puts us in a real sweet spot, and it fills a hole that we need. And and I'll tell you what, it's going to be a damn fine companion piece for the 223 FAL.
Well, I'll tell you what it's. Yeah, that's true. But one of the things that's going to be neat about this gun is the 20-inch gun with the A1, the SP1, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be a pretty lightweight gun, and a lot of people don't realize how. I think a lot of the kids today don't realize how heavy these M4s have gotten. All these little tack rifles have gotten stupid heavy, and they see a big, long, heavy gun, and they don't realize. And they're like, "Man, that's pretty light and handy." So a 20-inch, we could do stuff. We could even do goofy stuff with this thing. We could take this A1 SP1 gun. There are ways to connect a flashlight to it. Without modifying it. If you just have an SP1 and you're like, I need a home defense gun, there's a way to put a flashlight on it. There's a way to put a red dot on it. There's a way to do certain things, and it's going to be a lightweight and fun gun. But let me tell you what. This gives me a chance to bring this up because we haven't talked about this publicly, I don't believe, and I'm probably more worried about this than you are because I'm usually the one that has to deal with it head on. Why I'm so concerned with this SP1, and I wanted you to kind of pick it out, kind of put it together, is because one of the reasons why we have John 1911 is because, look, it's just a way for us to talk about what we're doing, and maybe if people have questions or we have questions, because we certainly don't know everything, we can kind of have our own little, I hate to say it like this, safe space where people can roll in. I don't believe there's such thing as a dumb question. And what's going to happen is we're going to have some of these AR guys roll in to John 1911, and they're going to be snarky little bitches, and they're going to get banned. Because it's going to bring out some, and I don't like those guys. They may know more than I will ever know about an AR M16 Vietnam era SP1 Night Elf Mohawk Ninja bullshit rifle. But these assholes get on these forums or get on these boards or get on these blogs, and they basically, all they want to do is they want to shit on everybody else and show how smart they are. And there's a guy who's pretty well known, and he rolled in and he wanted to start shit, and he was wrong, and then he moved the goalpost so he could, quote, still be right, and he's shocked that we banned him.
Yeah,
and it's like, because you're not,
yeah,
because what's the policy of John 1911? What's the motto? Shooting guns and having fun. This bullshit, yeah.
And when you're the self-proclaimed expert and look, the worst thing about going to forums is you'll always get the guy who's been on the forum for 5-6 years. He's got thousands of posts and everyone thinks he's the expert. And some new guy will come in and ask a real noob question that's pretty basic, but he's new, so it's not basic to him. And then all these guys will start shitting on him. And I hate to see that, and because it's like, way to turn away someone from the community, guys. Help him out. Don't be a dick. Just because he asks what you consider a stupid question, it's not stupid to him because he doesn't know. And you know what? At one point in time, everyone was in this person's position. Yeah. Everyone was a noob at one time.
Look, dude, there's stuff that I know about that you have no clue. There's stuff you know about I have no clue. I'm not, we're not interested in, we're not trying to make the biggest, most popular website or the biggest, most popular, where all the cool kids hang out. It's all about shooting guns and having fun. We like-minded people. As long as you're spending more time shooting than jacking off on the internet, you're probably welcome here.
Well, if we wanted to have a place for all the cool kids to hang out, we wouldn't have John 1911 blog page. We would have John 1911 gun forum.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good point. We've actually had people ask us if we would start a gun forum, and I'm like, nope.
Nope. Because here's what's going to happen. I'm going to have to moderate it. You're going to have to moderate it. We're probably going to have to get a couple regulars to moderate it. It's going to take up all their time, and I'm not going to be able to go out and go shooting. Mm-hmm. Because I'm going to have to sit there and babysit all these dickheads.
Well, because you're giving other people the power to basically create the conversations, and what ends up happening is it becomes this self-serving jerk circle. And, and it's like to keep the bullshit down to a minimum, we control the subjects that are discussed. And then if you like what we're doing, feel free to roll in and be a part of it. I mean, if you want to be able to be the big mamma jammer and if you want to be a cool content creator, start your own goddamn website.
Exactly.
Or hang out on a gun forum and start your own thread. But it's just a shit show. We're
constantly evolving. John 1911 is growing and it's constantly evolving. I know a lot of the guys are going like, man, when are you going to go back to making T-shirts? You know what? We will have some merchandise. Will we go back to tactical T-shirts? No, that's behind us.
Yeah, there's merchandising is coming. We are working on it.
Yeah, but look, I'm not going to say down the road, maybe a year or two.
John 1911 TV. No, sorry, did I? Did I say that out
loud? I didn't hear nothing. But look, I'm not saying down the road, maybe we might not, we might come up with some kind of a forum-based thing. It wouldn't be anything major like some of the, like SIG Talk or Glock Talk or whatever the big gun forums are. It wouldn't be anything like that. But I'm not saying that down the road, maybe some type of little chat board thing might not be in our future. It might not be, but it could be. Who knows?
Maybe like one of those Google Hangout type things or a Slack channel or something like, that could always happen in the future. But again, that's where we're kind of, we have to somebody has to be the captain of the ship, because if you don't, you end up with some of these gun forums and it's just a zoo.
Yeah, and the thing is, the crap that we had to deal with on the Facebook page is not something I want to deal with in a forum based category. But like I said, we're always we're evolving, we're changing, we're doing new things, and I'm not saying.
Let me do this again. John 1911 TV. Okay, all right.
I'm not saying it's not in our future, but don't sit up at night waiting for it.
Dude, nobody's sitting around waiting for us anyway.
Yeah, I know. But But yeah, so there's all kinds of neat things going on, all kinds of cool projects in our future. Right now, we're just trying to put some major projects to bed.
Yep, and I think we're doing a pretty good job. So
I agree. I think we're doing a fantastic job. And you're going to be traveling here. What, this week?
I can't go into too much detail, but yeah, I'm going to be. I was hoping to be gone only a week, but it looks like it's going to be 2 weeks. I'm not sure what kind of access I'm going to have to the internet. It's all going to mostly be through satellite phone, which is going to suck rocks. So we'll figure it out. But things might slow down a little bit, but I think I can. Things will keep moving. It'll be fine.
Okay.
So we'll get it all worked out. So is that about it on the bad news on the no Glock project for you?
No Glock project for me.
No soup for you.
I'm 20% disappointed, 80% happy.
Okay. Well, this wraps up this episode of the John 1911 podcast. If you like this kind of content, we'll post videos that we're referencing or content we're referencing externally on the blog page at john1911.com. That's JOHN1911.com. And special thanks to our sound engineer, Mitch, and hopefully we'll kind of get all this back in line, and the audio will be better and Mitch will be mad at us. So all right, everybody, thank you for your time and have a good day.
See you later.